Jake here for Extreme Terrain, and in this video I'm taking a look at the officially licensed Jeep neoprene front and rear seat covers in black, fitting 2020 and newer JT Gladiators without the rear cup holder. If you work your Gladiator hard, you know how dirty your seats can get. Getting a set of seat covers can be an excellent way to keep your JT's interior protected and looking good for a long time. And these officially licensed Jeep covers bring some serious durability to the table, along with a nice clean look, some added comfort, and one of the best prices in the category. Seat covers are sometimes a hard thing to get right, but when they are, it's amazing what a positive difference they can make. And these covers stick pretty close to an OEM style, making for a nice clean look, even if the rest of your interior isn't all black. And because you get a full set of front and rear covers here, everything is going to match really nicely. Now, before we get any further, I do want to make a note, I do not have all of the pieces up here on the table. Got a backrest for the front, backrest for the rear, and one of the lower rear cushions, and a headrest as well. Obviously, there's a lot more included in this, we just don't have the room to put it on the table and make it look decent. But with that, let's keep on going. Now, these obviously feature that prominent Jeep logo right here at the top of the backrest. You get them both on the front and on the rear, gives you a little bit of added style. Now, since these are a direct fit, they also include the headrest covers, and they include accessibility for your side impact airbags as well, so there's no need to be concerned with safety or usability when it comes to the seats. In fact, I would wager that having these covers on even makes your seats a bit more comfortable and usable. And before we get to the details of the construction, it is worth taking a moment to point out that there is a thick foam padding under the skin of all of the covers. I'll turn the headrest cover inside out so you can see. So this stuff features a 4-layer construction and it's going to help improve your overall seat comfort. So if you regularly put in long days in the saddle, you might want these covers for that reason alone, just because it's going to make things maybe a little bit more comfortable. And if your seat is a little worn out on the padding side, say on the bolster from getting in and out, this can help offset that issue without having to take the seat apart to replace it. Now, while we're on the subject, it's time to talk about the material, which the key component here is that neoprene. This is really the star of the show. Neoprene is all kinds of cool and useful. Not only does it offer good clean looks, but there's also a lot of protection and weatherproofing baked in. Neoprene is a material commonly found in diving suits and other waterproof garments, and there's good reason for that. It's water and mildew resistant, plus it offers a soft feel with good breathability. So if you get dirty on the job or when you're out playing on the trails on the weekends or whatever, you don't have to worry about ruining your seats. Neoprene is easy to clean, it's going to keep your seats protected, and you'll be able to ward off stains, water damage, and any other type of abuse you can think to throw at your seats. It's an excellent material if you work or play hard with your Gladiator, and you can enjoy what you're doing with the peace of mind that you're not going to be ruining those seats. Now, these ones also are UV treated, so they're going to resist fading, so if you do have the top off for a while, they're not going to fade in the sunlight. And again, they feature that 4-layer construction we were talking about earlier with reinforced seams too. So you can see that on the inside here. So that means these are going to last you a while and they're going to wear very well, which again, if you're working your JT hard, that's a good thing and exactly what you want. Pricing for the set comes in at about $325, and that makes them one of the most affordable sets of front and rear seat covers on the market for the JT. And again, you're getting a lot of protection and solid construction here, so I would call these a good buy. And if you want something that looks OEM spec, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that because you've got the big Jeep logo right there front and center. Installation is going to get a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and it should only take you about 45 minutes to get all of these pieces installed. This is a simple process, doesn't really even require any tools. Everything is going to slide right into place and attach securely either with Velcro or the included straps underneath here. And to show you how to get that all done, right now, let's go ahead and jump on out to the shop.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to be installing seat covers on our Gladiator, so let's get started. All right, guys, so the first step we're going to do is we're going to remove our headrests. There is 2 clips on each side. You're going to press in. I'm just going to hold that in. We can slide our headrest out. Now you can repeat this process for the passenger side. So now that we have those headrests removed, we're going to tackle the top half first. So we're going to come over here and undo the Velcro. Make sure they're separated. And we're just going to slide this over top of our seat. Just going to pull it down evenly. coming through the back to help that pull down. We're going to line up these two holes where the headrest went. Now we're going to grab this section here and we're going to push that through the seat so it can meet on the back of the seat. All right, so now we can go onto the back of the seat and connect our Velcro. Next, we have to remove this flap. There is a string that we got to follow and disconnect from the hook, like so. And there's another one. Gotta do that same thing. Now that this flap is loose, we can grab our seat cover. Just gonna tuck this under. I'm gonna bring this piece up. I'm gonna fold that over and make our connection with the Velcro. Now with the top half of the seat cover on, we could reinstall our headrest. Now you can repeat this process for the other side. All right, so now for the lower half, we're going to unclip our straps. I'm just going to get this fitted onto the seat. And for this section, I'm going to remove that Velcro. Tuck this under our seat adjuster. And we're going to take these two straps along with the end of our cover and we're going to push it through to the back side of our seat. Then with that, on each side comes with little hooks. We're going to go under the seat and find a place to hook it in. All right. And then with the straps that we push towards the back, we're going to grab those, and there's the other ends that are in the front, and we're going to go under the seat and connect them and tighten them down. So now I grab this from the back, reach in from the front, I'm just gonna plug that back in, I'm gonna pull our strap, we're gonna tighten this down from the bottom. Now we have one more on the other side of this seat that I'm gonna do now. All right, so now I have the other side connected. I'm just gonna pull our excess to tighten this up. Now we're going to have to redo our Velcro for the top section since we had to pull our straps down. Now once we have those straps tight, we're gonna have to come back to that top half and reconnect our Velcro. We're gonna pull that Velcro tight. Fold that over. All right, now you can repeat these steps for the passenger side seat. Next, we're gonna put on our headrest cover. So we're just gonna slide this over top. Then we're going to fold from the back to our Velcro strips. All right, now you can repeat this step for the other side. All right, guys, so moving on to the rear for the single seat, we're gonna install the top half first. So we're gonna come over here, we're gonna pull this loop. I'm just going to allow this to move forward. What we're going to do is we're going to release that Velcro. You can just slide this down. This part is gonna go over the headrest. Since you can't remove the rear headrests, so now you see that square opens up the opening on the back of that seat. So I'm just gonna stick that Velcro on for 1 second. We're gonna lift this up. We're gonna tuck this under. We're just gonna fold that Velcro strip. Then we're gonna push that bottom felt piece through the seat. Pull this back forward. So then we're gonna grab that felt piece. Make sure this part of the Velcro is not sticking to anything. Gonna pull that up. We're gonna fold that part down. Now this part is installed. All right, guys, so now we're gonna install the lower half of our single seat. To know if this is the right piece, there is 2 squares cut out on this part that matches up with the squares on your seat. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift up on the seat. Just gonna remove all those clips. I'm just gonna line this up over our seat. So now we can connect the side pieces here. That just tightens down the sides. Then we're going to connect these 2 hooks in the center. Like so. Then we're going to push this piece through the back of the seat. We're also going to take this hook and bring it in with them. So now that that back tab is pulled through, we're going to take our 2 connectors here, connect the 2 buckles. We're going to tighten these up. Give them a nice pull so everything is tight and firm fitting. So now we can move on to the last section of our seat covers. All right, guys, now we're over on this side here. We're going to remove the zipper on the back of our seat cover, following with the Velcro. So now we have this spread out. Going to pull on this tab over here. It's going to slide this whole thing forward. Now what we're going to do is we're going to slide this through our seat belt. And this part is going to go over our headrest. So we're just going to undo that. Slide this over. sure that's still disconnected. Just gonna fold that side over for the time being. Hold down. We're going to disconnect our Velcro for our middle headrest. Slide our piece through the middle of our headrest. So now we can zip this down. I'm gonna lift this back up, and now we're gonna shove this felt through our seat. So now we're gonna grab that felt that we pulled through the seat. Make sure we reduce any of that slack that we have. I'm gonna peel this part up. Just gonna fold that over. You can see that square's lined up. At this point, we pretty much just want to go through and pull in directions it needs to be pulled in. All right, so now we can move on to the lower half. All right, guys, so our next step is gonna be our lower half. So we're gonna lift up on our seat. We're gonna undo all of our buckles. Now we're going to slide this over top. Like so. And for this, we're gonna tuck this part under the middle of our seat. And we'll do that same thing for our middle seat. Make sure we get those buckles in there too. We'll lift up. So now we're going to start making our connections with the buckles. Put these over top. Tighten that one up. And we're just going to keep going. Then we have these hooks here on the side that we're going to bring together like so. We can bring this down, see what kind of adjustments we need to do. All right, so now we can install our headrest covers. Now to install our headrest covers, there is a hole on the side. That is for your adjuster button to go up and down. So we're gonna line that up, and all we gotta do is just slide this over. Now you can repeat that process for the other headrest. All right, so we have one more cover for our middle headrest. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have it in this orientation with the thicker side for down here. So we're just gonna stretch this out and slip it over. So that's gonna wrap up the review and install on our officially licensed Jeep neoprene front and rear seat covers in black for your 20 to 23 Jeep Gladiator JT without rear cup holders. Thanks for watching, and for all things Gladiator, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.